Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Catchup. And today, our guest is Stacey Ridguard. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for saying yes.
My pleasure.
All right. So, you're going to give everyone like a very high level 30-second, since you graduated from Manning Still now, what have you been up to?
Okay, well, I've always been in academia, so I went straight from high school to University of the West Indies, and then I pursued pure and applied sciences. I originally wanted to become a medical doctor, but always knew I wanted to be in the health field. And, I went to UE and I saw some other batchmates of mine, and I saw them pursuing another area of medicine called physiotherapy.
Yes.
And so it really kind of struck my interest, and I started to do some more research about it, and I really liked the feedback that I got, because I've always been someone who loves to help others, and this was a platform that I could do so on such a level that it was more meaningful, where you could rehabilitate persons who were physically impaired to a functional level. That
Right.
really meant a lot to me. So I branched off in that at the University of the West Indies, and then I moved on from there and did my internship at a number of hospitals over the island, Bustamante, Mona Rehab, and I did my longest stint at Cornwall Regional Hospital. And then I worked there postgraduate for 2 years, and then I applied to England to do my master's. I did that at Brunel University. And I did that in an area called the neurorehabilitation, where persons who are impaired, whether from the brain or the spinal cord, I focus on that area. But I would have had my first degree in general physiotherapy, so I'm not limited, but my specialist area is neuro rehab. So after I did England, before I went there, I really wanted to really branch off on my own. If you know me and other persons, I've always been a leader, and I felt that I could impart more being on my own. And I had other areas that I'd wanted to branch into as well, like teaching, and that would set a platform for me. So I did England, and being the patriotic person I am, wherever I go, I always come back home. I remember being in Kingston, and most of the persons who studied there stayed on and worked in Kingston and lived there. So I was one of the few persons who came back to Westmoreland. And likewise, when I went to England with my colleagues, I was one of the few persons that came back
From
to Jamaica to work here. And I could have gone so many places in the world. So I'm quite patriotic. I'm trying to build my nation from here.
So you're
Yes.
in Westmoreland?
So I'm actually in Westmoreland now. I have formulated a company, Total Therapy Limited.
Yes.
And it's not just for physical but emotional wellness. So now I branch off into rehabilitation in addition to spa and wellness services. And I also teach. I train persons in massage therapy. So, I mean, you'd wonder how I do all of that, right? And so I didn't want to leave out my parish, Westmoreland. I'm here twice weekly, and then I'm in Montego Bay, which is that's the main hub for 3 days a week. So I'm still giving back to my little community in Westmoreland.
So if you want physical, because I had Bell's palsy
Yes.
for when I was pregnant.
Okay.
My last son, I have
Right.
3 sons.
Yes.
And I had to do physical therapy.
Right.
And it's still there.
Yes.
You watch and see for a nice smile.
Right.
One
can
eyes
see,
closes.
Yes, a slide.
Right
Yes,
here?
on your right. Yes.
Right. And but I went from not even being able to close my
Right.
mouth, right? And have to put
Yes,
tape
so
to
it
close
does
my
affect
eyes.
the eyes, the mouth,
Yes.
the entire half of
The face, nothing.
Right.
So it was because of my physical therapy, I wouldn't have gotten back the use of
Right.
it. And it was so scary.
Right.
Right?
So it's that part of my job that really gets to me, that gives me satisfaction.
Yes.
The fact that I can see someone, they were physically impaired, and I could get them back to a state where they cannot just
Help themselves.
be
Go
functional,
Be
yes, and
functional.
to might not get full recovery, but to be
Better
functional with what they have
have.
and to help them to cope,
That's a
whether
big
at
deal.
home or on the job. Yes, so it's really, really, really satisfying to me.
And if I want to relax and get a massage, I can get it here
Certainly.
in Westmoreland too and in
Sure.
Montego Bay.
Yes, both Westmoreland and Mobile. So we do massages, we do facials, foot detox.
Is that thing real? Like when you put the foot in the
Yes,
water?
man, it's real.
Can my ass come in?
Yes, I've done it.
How does it work? How does it work?
Well, what will really happen is that when there are some electrodes that is connected to your body, as well as there's an ionic detoxifier that goes from that into the water. I have done it because I have a known knee problem from I was young, and when I was finished, the color that was actually shown is what depicts what area of your body is affected, and that it was my joint because of the color. The color was orange, and I could actually literally feel while it was being done. I could feel a little sensation in the affected knee. I could do that, and a number of persons say that as well. Wherever they have the challenge in their body,
yes,
they tend to feel that while it is being done.
I have never done it, but I've seen it, and it just looks like it's a hoax, like it's not real.
It is.
It is real.
Yes.
So if they want to find you, how do they find you?
Okay, so I'm at 17 Rose Street in Sav-la-Mar, and that's just opposite the family court.
Right.
And in Montego Bay, I'm on the top road, and just a few minutes from the airport, about 5 minutes, and I'm across from this newly opened restaurant and event place, Granda View.
Okay.
So that's 4 Queens Drive, and that's my big hub. That's a total wellness center. That's mine. Yes.
And the training is at both places or mostly in Mobile?
Yes, I do training in whatever location I work. So I'm in Sav on a Tuesday and Thursday. And after I would have completed my physiotherapy around about 7 p.m., I teach from 7 to 9 p.m. So everybody would be at home relaxing at that time.
So how long is the course for students?
The course is on average 9 months long.
Okay.
And I must say, for me to have been doing the training, it's really something that I had thought of. And I even started training persons before I set up a physical practice of my own, because I felt that I needed to impart my knowledge, especially to young females. There are males that do my course, but I had a passion because there are so many young females that drop out of school. Massage is not necessarily a theoretical based sort of
academic pure book.
Right.
It's practical skill, technical skill that you cannot.
There are a lot of persons who would want to acquire a skill, which is something you have for life.
Right.
And it really is a part that I can impart my knowledge to someone. And these persons, there are so many stories. I mean, there are so many girls who probably would never have graduated. They will come and they say, Miss, I've never got a certificate in my life. And when they get a certification,
they achieve that.
I mean, it really, you see, they improve their lives, they improve their social standing.
Right.
And there are so many stories where they would have been otherwise, challenged, and they're able to overcome this. Some of them will say, growing up, my family would think I wouldn't come to nothing. I wouldn't have anything, and I have to show this to my mom.
To make you feel proud of me.
Yes, and that really is a biggie for me. So you might say, so how do you do that at the end of your work day when you're exhausted? But it's always my thing to give back.
And it's fueling too. It feeds your spirit.
Yes, and I've been doing this from 2005. And I really have many achievers. Some of them have even gone on their own to set up their own shops. And, it's really, really lovely.
Amazing. So your graduating class was 1994.
Right.
And we know now what you do for work. Yes. What do you do for fun? To relax?
Well, I would say that I'm a workaholic, Nackia. I get probably about 4 hours sleep per night. I tend to love to meditate, and yes. I'm a Christian. I am very solid in my Christian faith, and so at the start of my day, it's very important. Everybody knows this. I take the first 1 or 2 hours of my morning and I meditate. I do my devotionals, and I even send devotionals to a lot of my peers and persons on my contact list. And that is something that I use for my me time. I'm also an avid reader and writer. I'm not able to do that much, but I do when I can. And I listen to music, a wide genre of music, and I tend to spend a lot of time with my family. I'm a very family-oriented
Tell us about your
person.
family, your immediate family.
Well, I have no immediate family of my own, but I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and well, I would say I'm the go-to in either side of my family, whether maternal or paternal.
Really?
So everybody will run to me auntie. All my friends will have their children. I'm their godparents. So, I'm always surrounded by persons like that. Right.
All right. Okay. So we're going to go back to Manning school days, and we're here like in front of the chemistry lab. I was searching for sun. And the sun just keep on changing on me. Even now, I think it's changing now.
Yes.
But back in your Manning school days, who was your favorite teacher?
Well, I would say it would be a toss-up between several persons.
You get two, man. You get two.
Two.
Two favorites.
Okay, I would say that would have to be Mrs. Boyd and Mrs. Lacan in my later years.
Yes.
If I could squeeze in Mrs. Christie in my earlier lower school years. But these teachers that I mentioned, they were not just academia. These persons were mentors, and they took time out. They went above and beyond their call of duty.
Yes.
To mentor students, to listen to them, and to motivate them. And I can also recollect that Mrs. Boyd was a part of what we call our ISCF, or Inter-School Christian Fellowship, which I was a part of that body growing up in high school as well. So
Mrs. Boyd comes up a lot.
All the time.
Mrs. Gammon too, but
Yes.
Mrs. Boyd I think still has, in terms of frequency of mentions,
Yes.
that
And
lady.
She's always such a courageous and very pleasant person, easy
Her
to
smile,
talk to.
her laughter
So warming.
is so
Yes.
contagious.
And so heartwarming.
So
it's easy
heartwarming.
to talk to
And
her.
still strict. Like,
Yes.
she can,
Yes, she's able to maintain all of that in one character.
right? Because I was still scared, but still,
Yes.
she's approachable.
Yes.
Know that I have to be accountable and I have to get
And you have
myself
to
in
be
order.
serious to
And
do
you have
our
to be
work.
serious.
Yes.
Yes.
And as we sit before this chemistry lab, I can't help but mention Mr. Dawkins. Oh my God. He was such a disciplinarian,
He is.
but he was such a good teacher.
Yes.
So, I mean, a lot of persons who were struggling with chemistry, you just had to shape up in his class. Yes. No kidding.
Yeah,
Is that the bell? Oh
the
my
bell is 2
God.
times no bell mentioned since this interview started.
Yes.
What was your favorite subject?
I would say biology for the sciences and English language.
Can't relate to the English.
English language.
You love English language.
Yes, and that's like a subject I was known to have. Definitely, I would get grade 1 in English. I could get that with my eyes closed. And the funny thing about it is that now my best friend Camille, she was the maths brain, and then I was the English language person. So wherever we faltered, I would help her in English, and then she would help me in maths. Right. So, and now she has, I would say, I was so bad at maths that, when I went to high school, postgraduate, when I went to university, I was amazed that I was not going to be doing medical statistics. I said, Camille, are you serious? Where are you? And would you believe that when I did the first statistic exam and everybody flunked that, probably 5 people out of 25 passed. And I said, Camille, this is serious. And I went and we did this and I started to rub my shoulders with these maths people now. And I got 100%. So that is also a note to say that whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve. Camille said, you're sure not 10.0? I said, no, I got 100%. So that's like my mantra. Whatever I want to achieve, I set my mind to it and I can achieve.
What has made you guys good friends in high school and still connected to this day? What do you think it is?
I think we have very similar traits in terms of
core beliefs
and
values.
And one of them is our faith in Christ and a similar denomination. But then we're also very grounded in family, and we're very devoted people. We're very loyal to whatever we are, whomever we have in our surroundings. We're very loyal, and we're both very family oriented. And it doesn't matter how busy we are, we find time
To
for the
connect.
persons that we really call family and friends. Because most of my friends that I have in my life now would have been from high school. I
Right.
have friends close to 30 years, and Camille is one of them. Alisa, Salmon, Brown, Nackia, Miller, Denisa, Gale. I mean, we have been friends from high school, solid friends, and it never wanes.
It's something different, eh?
Yes,
Because
yes.
that person knows you.
Right, and I
Good,
should
bad, and
also
ugly.
mention for males like O'Neill Brown and
Yes.
Dave Vassell. Those persons have always been in my corner. Yes, to this day.
So, in terms of memories,
Yes.
what memories make you laugh or feel warm inside when you look back at your Manning school days? Which one pop into my
Oh
your mind?
Lord, there's so many with Camille. She's so crazy. I remember there are a number of times when we used to take Miss Gamma. Well, Camille was the driver. That girl could drive from her eyes right to her knee. And she does things like took me on the first bike ride and all these kind of things. And she used to take Miss Gamma's car. We used to drive around in Gamma Bill. And sometimes on the school compound, Miss Gamma would look out, see her car. And however, when we reach up to the vice principal's office, that satellite would never miss us. Never ever miss us. So that was never Camille's favorite person. So we would have to try to usurp that all the time. There's so many memories, and most of them I would have said would have been around the same persons that I would have called that were my core people.
Hanging out and spending
Right,
time.
and I should also mention Jason Williams. He was also a very instrumental part of my high school years. And there are memories that were good and there are memories that were bad. And one being, I guess you would ask eventually, what is one of the things that would have been most difficult
Yeah.
for you?
Just 1 second, let me get this red ants. Because if you bite it, it's not going to be cute.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I would say the loss of my dad. And that was just prior to doing my CXE exams. Very tragic. And it was really, really tough. And these are the same core people that I would say that
Was around you.
was around me. And I would say that despite the odds, I was able to overcome that and still get my 9 CXE subjects. Never stopped
She
a
said
day
9.
from school.
Just to make sure you know.
And when I say 9, I mean doing like principles of business on the side. I probably went to class about 5 times and did that exam. I would have left high school being able to do any area of study that I wanted.
Yes.
Because I did business, I did POB and accounts, I did arts, I did geography, I did English literature, and I did all the sciences. So I was very rounded. And I guess a part of that is that I'm always a focused person.
Yes.
And I've always known what I wanted, and I
go
go after it. That's just me. And whether or not I have company, you don't have to be on my bandwagon because I'm not joining anyone. So I would always want to know what I want and I go for it.
My goodness.
Yes.
So, the next question I had was, what words come to mind when you describe your personality back in high school in 1994? How would you
Okay.
describe your personality? What words?
I would say I always had a great sense of humor. I was quite sarcastic. I mean, come on, in my yearbook I got the most sarcastic. And I would say I had a way with words. I had a play on words.
Yes.
And if you knew me, you would know that. And that's something, that's a camaraderie Camille and I share.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's something that if you're close to me, that's something I would, you're likely drawn to me or I'm drawn to you because of that.
Okay. How
So,
about now? What words would you use to describe yourself today?
Myself now, I would say that I'm a very resilient person
Yes.
because I've overcome so many odds in my lifetime, and I have immense faith there's very few things that will ever get me off track. I mean, if I fall down, I get back up. I'm very goal oriented, and I'm a very loyal person, friend, and just very caring by nature. So I'm giving, I'll give everything away. I give back, I give of myself, because even with my patients, I would say I'm never one just to do a statistic because they have a physical impairment. I get into their emotional well-being as well, because a lot of time you heal persons by healing their minds first. So I have to know what's happening in their home situations with their children.
Yes.
I get so involved, and so many times I have so much emotional and mental baggage carrying. I said, "Oh my God!" But that's just me. That's the nature of the person that I am.
You think you were built to sustain
Yes.
it and carry it?
Yes.
And it's a gift?
Yes, I think so. And I'm not never just mediocre. I go all the way.
All or nothing.
That's me.
All in.
Yes.
Have you changed? And if what aspects of you have changed since 94?
Since 94, probably
Or
most of my
evolved or
friends would
grown?
say that I pretty much am the same. But I
Yes.
would say that in terms of, I guess, my business ideas, and which I still have so much more that I want to do. You'd say, where can you put this in? But I would say that I probably would have grown in that realm, and probably my Christianity. I've been more grounded,
Yes.
and in terms of well, I'm always focused, so I don't think I've changed much
In that
terms
area.
in terms of that.
Is there something that you used to believe about yourself? Your self-identity or abilities that has changed throughout the years? That you look at it totally different? I'll give you an example. For me, one of the biggest things is that I thought I was extremely ugly.
Okay.
No one could convince me otherwise. And it took years for me to change that mindset, that belief system in my head. Is there a belief system that you used to have that you had to change or evolve over time about you that you can think of?
Perhaps I would say originally I didn't grow up with my parents at all, period. I grew up with my grandparents. That's my maternal grandparents. And perhaps at some points in my life, I probably would have yearned to have been with an immediate mother and father setting. And I probably would have looked at myself and think, perhaps it is that I would be a little at a little disadvantage because of that. But I look back at my life, and I would say that I would have transformed myself. I was never one to have a lot of persons. I don't need a lot of people around me. I can be by myself
And be just
I can,
fine.
Right. And I would say that it doesn't matter what circumstance you were faced with in your lifetime. I got one of the best upbringing. I mean, my grandparents, they loved me immeasurably.
Okay.
And I had no lack of love. And I was loved and treated well by both sides of my family. And so I would say to anyone that, would have said, okay, I didn't grow up with parents, and then you would have heard, the closest now I would have been now living in a home where my father was. He was tragically taken from me. So I'm saying, I guess, that's just my plight or plot in life. So
Yes.
I would say it doesn't matter your circumstances and the fact that you might not have been grown up in a quote unquote immediate family surrounding. You can defy your odds. I mean, your past and your circumstances are not what
Defines you.
or defines you.
Yes.
You can rise above that.
What advice would you give yourself in 94, that girl that was graduating? If you could have time with her, what would you say to her? Knowing where you are now.
Knowing where
and
I
she
am
had no
now.
clue I don't think she had a clue that this is what she'd be doing now.
Well,
but
I didn't have a clue in terms of that I would be a physiotherapist, but always knew I would be in the medical field.
All right.
Because I was always a caregiver by nature.
Understood.
And I probably would have said I would not necessarily have done things any different.
Yes.
Because I was always focused, and I just went after my dreams, and I did.
So you'd leave her alone and just
Yes,
say hi.
I would. I just say, hi, girl, you did a good job.
Well, yes. So one of the questions I had was one of the most challenging seasons, and you have to be in Mannings.
Yes.
So you want to keep that answer in terms of your most challenging season that really pulled on you, that you'd like to
Yes.
share? Okay.
It would. I would just add to what I said about the death of my
Yeah.
dad. Because I was preparing for CXC.
Yes.
And
Just a stressful time.
you know, it was a very tragic incident. It happened at my home, and so it really
He was
bear
killed in
down.
the home?
Yeah, killed in the yard.
In the yard.
Yeah. So
He wasn't sick. He wasn't sick.
no. It wasn't a
Understood.
natural cause, and so just the mere nature of that, the unexpected. I mean, all those things surrounding it. The fact that, you know, this was now the first time I had the semblance of living with a parent and all of that. And then I had to put things into perspective, deal with all the pain, and focus on doing CXC exams and so many subjects too. So it would have been one of the most difficult times in my life, but like a phoenix, I rose from that situation, like I do from every challenge that I have. That sort of a
That's
person.
extraordinary. What is the best advice you ever received from someone else that you pull on and practice, or you have read, or just apply?
Well, my motto in life is some persons dream of success. I wake up and work hard at it. And if you see, I sleep very little, so I'm always awake. I'm always working. But success to me is not even about tangible achievements.
She's answering the question before I ask. No, go ahead, because it flows. It's a flow.
Yes, it's not really about the tangible achievements in my life. It's just about the resilience of myself. I mean, if I get down, I get back up. And if I fall, I'll fall on my back because I can look to raise myself up. And
I never heard that. If I fall on my back.
yes, I fall on my back so I can see up, and I'm reaching upwards. Yes. So
Interesting.
I would say you have your vision, and sometimes you might think it will go along a certain path, but if you give me a detour, I'll go there and find another way back to the path. That's just the person that I am. And fortune favors the brave. So I'll go out on a limb. It's not going to crack off. If it falls with me, I'm going to land on my feet eventually. So I'll go out on a limb. And I'll do things that are unexpected. Just like, when I was going abroad to study, I said to them at the hospital, I'm going to come back and set up my practice. They said, how are you going to do it? I said, I don't know, but I'm just going to do it. And I did. And I had my 5-year plan, and I said, I'm going to have my own wellness center. And how are you going to do it? I said, well, it's just me. I'm going to get it done. And I did. So that's just me. I am very self-motivated. I don't need to have others around me to motivate me. I'm not withstanding that I do have core people who
Understood.
will be there. But if I'm the one on the bandwagon, I'm going to go and do it. When I
You're
was
the
to
president's
go,
secretary.
yes, I'm director, head
Cheerleader.
director, everything. Cheerleader, you name it. And you have to be able to motivate yourself in
Yes.
life. Because you can't depend on others, and persons will also have their own interests. Most of my friends have their own immediate family.
Right.
And so I have to also know that I can lean on them, but I have to lean on myself immensely. And I can recollect when I was going to study in England, was myself and another colleague. We are going to this place, so different. We don't know what to expect. And in the last minute, she pulled out. And
So you
she
couldn't
said,
be depending on her either.
no, as she said, but you know what, Stacey? If it was the other way around and you pull out on me, I wouldn't go. But I know that you're gonna go because you're just a sort of a person. I don't need to have an audience. I can do it. And so I went on my own. and today she hasn't even gone on to do the studies. And I went and I did it on my own. I saw other colleagues there, but
Wow.
That's just the person I am.
What are you most proud of?
My ability to overcome my odds in life, and the nature of myself just to impact others along the journey. I'm never selfish, and I also look at myself, and I've motivated so many persons to even start their own business,
Yes.
acquire their own assets.
Right.
And I'm always busy, but I also always find the time to impact others' lives. You can always reach out to me and I'm there.
Last question. When you die, what do you want us to remember the most about you?
Okay, I would want to be remembered as someone who would have touched others in a meaningful way. Not just physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I would say that that is satisfaction for me. How can I help someone that I see? How can I enrich their life? And how can I take them to a better place, whether physically, emotionally, or mentally? That's,
I think you're already living and walking that.
well, I am on my journey.
You're on your journey.
I have so much more that I want to accomplish.
And I don't think we have any doubt if you will.
Yes, and by God's grace,
By
I
God's
will.
grace.
I will.
That's the last question I had.
Yes.
It's a pleasure. I don't think, even when we went to Manning's, I sat and talked to you.
Yes.
I think you just know me probably as Desiree niece.
Desiree's niece. Yes,
So-
that crazy Desiree.
That crazy Desiree. Oh my gosh. So thank you for saying yes to
yes,
Catchup.
Yes.
I
And,
appreciate you participating in the project.
yes, it was my pleasure, and sharing, and if by any means I could have motivated someone,
I hope so.
I think that would have been the whole point of this interview.
Your stories,
for me.
your story is something
Yeah.
else, man.
Yes.
And I hope so too,
Yes.
especially to the young ones who are dealing with difficulty.
Right. Right.
The fact that you could have stayed focused to get 9 subjects. And I heard Nat says 9, she said 9. I think she
Yes.
said 9.
Yes, and some were just subjects being done on the side.
That's extraordinary to have that focus
Right.
and resilience.
Yes.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
With that, I'm going to close.
Yes.
Guys, I hope you were blessed by this story. I am. Not I was. I am blessed. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Catchup. Please like our videos, share our videos, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with weekly episode of Catchup. Have a blessed day, guys. Bye-bye.